Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we talk with health experts in Laurel County about what may be behind this county's sudden spike in cases. And a recent increase in overdoses here in the mountains has health officials warning folks about a new drug they are calling Smurf dope.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Lacey Roberts, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. Today is Friday, July 3rd, or like I like to call it, Fri-yay, because we've made it to the end of the week. The temperatures this week have been gorgeous, and they're going to be gorgeous for this holiday weekend. Let's go ahead and bring in our chief meteorologist, Paige Noel, that joins us this morning to tell us about that awesome weather we're going to have. But right now, we're seeing a little bit of an issue, right, Paige?
Yeah, seeing a little bit of fog, but as that sun continues to rise, it's going to dissipate and we will see sunshine and those beautiful but hot temperatures heading into the next couple of days. As we take you up to a few of those cameras, though, that sun's starting to rise, looking over into the Mountain Parkway over into parts of Powell County. They're not dealing with that fog, but areas down into Whitesburg definitely dealing with that patchy dense fog early this morning. So take it easy if you're out and about on the roads. And if you're headed out, temperatures into about the low to mid 60s, near 70 in Jackson, 66 in Moorhead, 65 down into Prestonsburg. And we are going to continue to see that sunshine today along with those warmer temperatures. Hot for your 4th of July, and that continues even into your Sunday. We could add in a few stray rain chances by Sunday as well. I'll have a look at the rest of that weekend forecast coming up in a little bit.
Thank you, Paige. And Governor Beshear continues to urge Kentuckians to wear masks and to follow guidelines as we go into the holiday weekend. Last night, he announced 239 new cases of COVID-19. It raises the state's total to 16,079. The governor also says 9 more people have died. At least 581 Kentuckians have been lost to the virus, but more than 4,700 people have recovered. We also learned from local health officials that Pike and Pulaski counties each now have more than 100 cases, but not all of those cases are active. And we have an update from the governor on driver's licenses. If your license expires on or after July 7th, you won't have 90 days to renew it. If your license expires before then, you still have 3 months to renew it. Clerks can still issue licenses remotely. That is extended through the end of September. And the grace period to register your car or boat was extended to October 6th. And people can now make appointments for in-person and unemployment insurance services that will be offered next week in Somerset. Those appointments can be made for the dates of July 7th and 8th, and they will be available from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on both days. You must bring 2 forms of identification, like a photo ID and social security card for that identity verification. Appointments can be made at kcc.ky.gov. or by calling 502-564-2900. In-person assistance is still available, but by appointment in Frankfort as well. More than 20,000 Kentuckians filed for unemployment last week. Now, since March 15th, there have been more than 1 million unemployment claims just in the state of Kentucky. And Laurel County saw a spike in COVID-19 cases last month, with their numbers jumping from just 21 cases in March through May to more than 100 cases in June alone. Laurel County Health Department Executive Director Mark Hensley says part of this spike is because of more testing in the county, and that so far they have not seen cases connected to churches or large gatherings. As cases spike across the country, Hensley is urging people to be smart about their holiday plans this weekend.
I want to research those areas that you may be traveling to and see if those communities have seen a spike. This may be to change course and do something as a family together. You know, maybe going camping, maybe going hiking, or just, you know, spending time with each other.
In Laurel County, they are seeing younger people contracting the virus, with the average age being 38 in the month of June. And staying in Laurel County, 2 men are facing charges after a traffic stop. Deputies say they pulled over a car that did not stop as it was leaving a hotel. Deputies say these men, William Barrett and Larry Helton, were in that car. Deputies found meth and cash. Investigators also found Xanax and marijuana in the hotel room the suspects were renting. Both are charged with drug trafficking. Barrett is also charged with driving on a DUI suspended license. And law enforcement and health officials are seeing an uptick in overdoses, and it could be due to a drug making its way to eastern Kentucky known as Smurf dope. I talked with officials about the dangers of this drug and another one right here in Perry County. Starting in northern and western Kentucky,
it has a vibrant blue color.
Smurf dope. But what is it?
Either methamphetamine or heroin that has been laced with fentanyl. Perhaps not just fentanyl, but carfentanil. Someone who does have a tolerance to opioids can most likely just touch it, and even that could result in an overdose.
Law officials like Deputy Chief James East call them pipeline drugs.
The type of drugs that are coming in now, they're not really making them locally. They're being brought in from different locations.
Traveling from areas such as Lexington and Louisville, making their way to the mountains.
Meth is coming in waves. You can tell when someone brings it in locally because we'll have, 8 to 10 to 20 overdoses within a very short period of time.
Brad Brewer is a harm reduction specialist at the Kentucky River District Health Department.
Lee County, over the weekend, there have been 6 overdoses.
Speaking with law enforcement here in Perry County, Smurf dope has not yet made its way to the county, but a similar drug has, and it's called Gray Death.
Gray Death is a mixture of heroin and fentanyl, and it's extremely deadly.
As that number of overdoses increases, so does the use and availability of Narcan.
Whenever it's administered, it's done so intranasally. It can bring someone out of an opioid overdose.
If they can be brought back, they are being brought back.
Prepared for any situation, hoping these drugs are not here to stay. In Hazard, Lacey Roberts, WYMT Mountain News. Now, police also say that as the weather does get nicer, the traveling aspect appeals to those who have access to these drugs, bringing them to more rural areas where they are not as easily accessible. And a Narcan training event organized by several local partners was hosted at the Mountain Arts Center yesterday. The event provided training on how to respond to an overdose situation and provided addiction recovery resources. Those who trained received 4 units of Narcan to keep on hand in the event of an emergency. Organizer Sean Hallen has seen the true impact of that preparedness.
In 2003, I overdosed, and because the EMTs were on hand and had Narcan, I'm standing here in front of you today with over 8 years clean. Now, that was in 2003. I didn't get clean for another 9 years, but it gave me a shot. It gave me a second chance at life.
Allen says that he hopes to have more events like this in the future to help spread the training to others and to save more people who are in the place that he once was. And the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce is launching a statewide initiative to address both prison reform and the state's ongoing drug epidemic. Ashley Watts with the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce says that their goal is to tackle both issues through one statewide initiative, the Kentucky Comeback Campaign. The program's mission is twofold: to destigmatize addiction and to decrease the state's prison population.
I think that we are incarcerating some people that maybe need treatment over incarceration. And so looking at that, we want to make sure that we have an open network for people to find resources, to be able to find a job or to find some place where you can get help.
You can find more information about the campaign on their website, and that's KentuckyComeback.com. And the removal of the Jefferson Davis statue from Kentucky's Capitol Rotunda will cost the state more than $200,000. The Lexington Herald Leader reports the governor's administration is paying a Lexington company $225,000 to remove and relocate the Confederate statue. The Properties Commission voted to move the statue to the Jefferson Davis State Historic Site in Todd County. No replacement, and the rotunda has been named. And officials in Owensboro delayed a vote on whether to remove a Confederate statue from courthouse grounds. Reporters say the Daveness County Fiscal Court was expected to vote Tuesday to move the statue to property owned by the United Daughters of the Confederacy. Instead, the vote was postponed until August 6th. An official from the UDC praised the delay, while a leader from the NCAACP said placing the statue anywhere prominent continues the glorification of the Confederate cause. And Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher says the city's police department will undergo a top-to-bottom review. The mayor announced the hiring of a Chicago-based consulting firm. Last month, he called for the review following protests and an outcry over the death of Breonna Taylor. The review is expected to cover training, use of force, bias-free policing, supervision, and community engagement. And state Democratic leaders are calling on Attorney General Daniel Cameron to take action in the death of Breonna Taylor. The Attorney General's office is investigating her death, and Louisville Metro police officers shot and killed her in her home back in March. In a letter, Democratic leaders say that they want Cameron to provide an estimated date of completion. They say the city of Louisville nor the Commonwealth can wait any longer. They urge him to give the public the answers that they deserve.
And that sun's starting to rise out there. Good Friday morning to you. Still seeing that patchy fog across the area, and we're going to see sunshine heading into the rest of the day as well. Taking you up to that UVA Wise camera, you see that sun rising gorgeous with just a few clouds possibly into the skies, but overall not looking too bad. Temperatures still into about the low to mid 60s, near 70 degrees in Jackson, 62 in Irvin, 63 if you're looking down towards Williamsburg. We'll reach near 90 degrees today. After that fog gets out of here, we'll see plenty of sunshine heading into the rest of today, and that weekend looking pretty good. Lower 90s for both your Saturday and Sunday. We could bring back a few stray rain chances for your Sunday and into that new work week. I'll have a look at that full 7-day forecast coming up.
Thanks, Paige, and thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up, hospitals in parts of the country are being overwhelmed with COVID-19 patients as we head into one of the most dangerous weekends of the year.